Welcome to our newest home tour at the Jersey Shore. I'm Virginia Toledo.
And I'm Jessica Geller, and we are Toledo Geller Interiors. This project reveal is called A Bold Escape.
Come on in. Clients reached out to us after seeing another project we done down at the shore published in a local magazine, and we were so thrilled to be able to provide them with a summer home of their own.
One of the things our clients requested from us is a destination that didn't feel coastal or nautical, and that was a big thing for us in this project, and really fun for us because it certainly has a flair to it that makes you feel like you are at some sort of a oceanside, beachside place, but it's not in your face and cheesy.
Right. Sailboats or anchors or anything like that, while we were near the shore, it should feel a little bit more sophisticated. And a lot of the things that we chose were influenced by their travels as a couple and as a family. Mexico and Latin America, as well as Spain and Portugal. So you see a lot of those influences in the space today.
One of the first things that we did when we got the plans for this home was realize that there was no true foyer. That's something that has always been a pain point for us. We love to have a landing space, a moment when you walk in and realize you are home. We developed this wall behind us to feel more like a foyer. We can have a moment here before we spill into the rest of this open space.
Another thing that we tried to do was to bridge this space that we're standing in, which is the family room / living room, with the space on the other side of the partition that the architect had designed. In between, we thought we could use a double-sided fireplace to bridge both of those spaces, and it felt really inviting and cozy, and a place that you could experience both during the summer and in the winter when it's cold here in New Jersey.
One of the things you'll notice in this space is that there is an abundance of texture here. So we have some limestone on the fireplace wall. The wallpaper here is a texture that's supposed to evoke a feeling of plaster. And one of our favorite elements are these adorable sun hats, if you will. They are lights that we had custom painted to have this really cool cabana stripe type feel to it.
The partition wall that separates the living room from the lounge had a little bit of a challenge in that the original plans called out for everything to be centered on that wall. Television, AV equipment, and that sort of thing. However, once interior designers come onto the scene and we put furniture into the plan, we noticed very quickly that the TV would not be uncentered to the sectional. So with that, we shifted the fireplace and the television to the far side of the wall, and then we were left with a sort of unbalanced design. We came up with what we thought was a clever trick in balancing that all out. We placed the sconce to the left of the television and treated that with paper, and the other half was treated with the beautiful limestone. Off of this entry space, we have a mudroom and a powder room. The mudroom has been outfitted with all the storage they could ask for and is a great place for them to quickly grab dog leashes, beach tags, a wetsuit, and it's really worked out really well for them.
The powder room is a fun place to play around with color and pattern. We have a salmon colored terrazzo tile on the floor, and because it's a small space, we wrapped this feather tile around the vanity, and it almost feels like a wainscoting or chair rail installation. Instead of sandwiching a mirror just over the vanity or the sink, we actually did a large mirror that went over the entire space, and it really makes the room feel amplified.
But what we didn't give much thought to was getting that mirror in said small space. Our installation guys gave us a long, hard, dirty look when they realized they had to get that huge mirror onto this wall in what's basically like a 4x2 room.
We did it.
Yeah. Now let's go check out the main kitchen area. Here we are in the hub of this home, and we are standing in the kitchen where you will quickly see that the backsplash is the star of the show. Terracotta kept showing up for us and for the client, and we found this awesome backsplash that is reminiscent of terracotta, but done in a much funkier, much more fun way.
You'll also notice the beams on the ceiling here, which was an element that we added to really give the home a little bit more soul.
We got to do that here really well because of the high high ceilings on this level. We have about 10-foot high ceilings here. It really just added to that element of surprise. In terms of how functional this kitchen is, well, we had our work cut out for us because this family cooks and they really do entertain here. To begin with, we gave them 2 dishwashers. That was a no-brainer.
Because who wants to do the dishes when you're on vacation?
Not us, and we suspect not them either.
Speaking of gadgets, they also have this awesome little cup washer at the bar, which makes life just a little bit more convenient.
And the bar was a natural thing for us to develop for them because of how they use the space. The kitchen has beautiful views, but it also has a sliding window, so they can easily serve up cocktails and appetizers right onto the deck from their kitchen space. You won't see a backsplash outlet, but you also won't see any outlets in the island or surrounding perimeter because we've hidden them in the countertops.
We love a concealed pantry. This one is outfitted with lots of storage because, as we mentioned, there are tons of gadgets and accessories, lobster pots and warmers. So this hidden pantry really can hide away all of the unsightly things.
To get to that pantry is the most beautiful reeded glass door with metal framing. We could have easily just used another simple door. We chose to highlight that area instead. It sort of sets a mood of what's behind door number 1. Welcome to the lounge at the Bold Escape, or better known as Goose Island, to our clients. They had a sign in their old house that read Goose Island, and we reinterpreted and put it on our new feature wall in the lounge.
This space has obviously a dining table, but what we really love about it is that it supports overflow and that feeling of very casual entertaining back and forth between 2 zones, and really feels like you are in a lounge. We are standing in the primary suite of this vacation home.
At the Jersey Shore, we are often limited by the square footage that we are allowed per lot. And so the rooms don't tend to be super expansive, and this room was no different. We used a little trick of an extended headboard that encompasses and sort of wraps around the nightstands to make this room feel a lot more expansive.
The primary bedroom is absent of any true color besides a few pops with the artwork and the pillow, and that was done intentionally. It really is a quiet and calm, peaceful bedroom where the homeowners can have some respite while they are at their home away from home.
The door leading to the ensuite bathroom evolved over the course of the design. Originally, we had it designed as a pocket door to avoid any sort of door swing, but our clients really preferred having a recessed medicine cabinet in lieu of decorative mirrors in the bathroom. And so that prohibited us from being able to use a pocket door that would pocket into that wall that now had a medicine cabinet. So a sliding door was a perfect alternate solution, and we just had to make sure that it got right in between that upholstered headboard and the wall, and we made it happen.
Let's go into the bathroom. I am a pink girly and I love it.
No, you're not in Cabo. You are at the Jersey Shore, but these materials would have you think otherwise.
I am obsessed with this bathroom. It has a total transportative feeling to it.
Big words. We use big words around here.
The materials that we selected were all super intentional. There's a mix of tumbled marble, terrazzo, porcelain. All of the hardware and the fixtures are in a white finish, which is very different, even down to the shower frame, the lighting, the hardware for the robe hooks, everything is white here. A fun touch is this outdoor shower body that we installed so that you can see the plumbing.
I remember the first question was like, why are you using an outdoor shower system inside? It turned out beautifully as it's encased in this white framed shower enclosure. We are standing in one of 2 bunk rooms in this home. This particular bunk room had been on our client's wish list from the very beginning. It was our job to bring it to life, but of course in a very non-nautical, non-beachy way.
All of the materials that you see here are a continuation of the palette that we experience in the main level and feel very far off and vacation oriented, but certainly not coastal.
Our clients have 3 young kids that have a lot of cousins and friends that spend a lot of time here. So we have 4 full-size beds here. So there's plenty of room for everyone to have fun and get cozy. With that, we've even given every nook their own sconce and their own charging station.
We took advantage of the space underneath each stair, and there is some hidden storage that the kids can use because this room actually lacks a proper closet. Another of my favorite elements is the ceiling color that we have in here and how we've wrapped it around onto the bunk wall. It feels really enveloping and cozy.
Speaking of the ceiling, we gave them not 1, but 3 light fixtures here, and we orientated them in a variety of ways to create a really fun moment on that plane.
It looks like a custom chandelier, even though it's really just 3 separate light fixtures. We're standing in the shared bathroom space between the 2 kids' bedrooms. This is a bathroom that was designed with every intention for them to have fun in the moment, but also age really well with them.
You can see we've used a really bold and dramatic floor tile that we also ran up the wall to create another sort of wainscoting moment. And the wallpaper here, for me, I think it was one of the favorite of all the options that we presented to the client. And we were so surprised and happy that it was their favorite as well. It certainly pulls from what I would describe as some sort of Mayan or Aztec influence, and it felt so appropriate for this space.
The mixing of materials that we've done here are certainly nothing that the average person can accomplish without being very risky and bold. We have copper sinks, ceramic sconces, the tiles are all different sorts of lines and stripes, and of course the wallpaper that Virginia mentioned.
Just really trying to pull from that inspiration from Central America where things are largely done by artisans. And as much as we could bring that in here, we really tried to do so. On the other side of that very cool bathroom is bunk room number 2. Here we were really trying to ensure that there was synergy between the color palette in this room and the color palette in that room, since they are within view of one another. We brought that terracotta color up on the ceiling and had some fun with the lighting in here.
Yes, I love how these are 4 hanging fixtures, but they're almost placed more so like a recessed light would be. It's a really fun, funky installation here, giving the youthful vibe to this room, but certainly not feeling childish. Another thing that we did here was with that terracotta ceiling color, we actually took it down a bit, the same as we did in the other room. It acts as a crown molding here, which is really cool effect for heightening the feel of the room.
And another little designer trick, when you have standard height ceilings like we have in here, it's best to use up lighting as opposed to down lighting. That soft glow that gets reflected from the fixture up onto the ceiling creates the illusion of added ceiling height. We're standing in one of the guest rooms in this home that is quite cozy, mainly because we really tried hard to get another king-size bed in the space. That was sort of back and forth with our client, but they really wanted another couple to be able to stay here and feel like it was another primary suite.
The finishes in this room are quite neutral, but the fun part is the art. We have this beautiful red color coming through in both pieces of art in this room. It's really joyful and cheerful. Again, a slight delicate nod to being near the beach, but certainly not in your face.
Right off of the main hallway, we have the guest bathroom that we've chosen to use some really classic materials. We have a hex tile done in a very earthy color palette.
And we've taken a classic subway tile, but we've turned it vertically and grouted it in a color that matches the floor tile. So this is giving a bit of a more modern spin on something that is really more traditional and classic, all punctuated by the black metal and black plumbing fixtures in the space, really bringing it full circle with the rest of the design in this home. One of my favorite bathrooms in this house is this jewel box of a bathroom. We've wrapped the tile in front of the vanity, so we've actually created a custom vanity out of it, which is pretty cool. It's a nice little surprise bathroom that kind of pops out of nowhere.
And topped with the most adorable powder blue vessel sink. It was just the icing on the cake. We are in the last guest bedroom of this tour, and it's probably one of my favorite rooms in the house. Because it's on the first floor, we have these tall ceilings like we had in the rest of those adjoining spaces, and we made a bold statement in here with the most deep, saturated teal meets green meets blue wall color that I just can't get enough of.
It creates a very cozy feeling. We always say with living spaces, it's nice to give a reason to go into a room and have a different vibe, and it's no different with these guest bedrooms. We have one that's very light and airy and ethereal, and this one feels very saturated, moody, and has a completely different feeling here.
We have this headboard that is a statement piece in this room. From the fabric to the shape of it to its height, it really is the star of the show.
Whoever's lucky enough to be sleeping in this guest bedroom also gets to appreciate the ensuite bathroom. Virginia and I are both very symmetrical people, but this was the first time that we played with the asymmetry in the pattern on the wall tile here, as well as the asymmetry of the wall sconces over the toilet and balanced out by the mirror over the vanity. It's always fun for us to flex our design muscle and do something a little bit out of our comfort zone.
Thanks for joining us on the tour of Bold Escape. We hope you've enjoyed.
You can follow us on all social media channels at Toledo Geller, and we will see you soon. I'm throwing it to you.
Hope you
That will be another take. Thanks for joining us. We out.
Bye.